you. Thank you very much, Ambassador. It's been great getting to know you in Davos firstly and then in DC a few weeks ago. Thank you very much, Secretary Pritzker, for inviting me along, and good to see you again, Prime Minister, where we met in January. It's a real honor to be here on behalf of Bank of America and for me personally. It's terrific to be here, and I'm glad that I've been able to carry on my Ukraine journey, which personally started with this trip back in January. Our journey actually as a firm started last year during the IMF World Bank, where Brian Moynihan, my boss and the CEO of Bank of America, met up with Administrator Powers, and they had a discussion about how the private sector could leverage itself with respect to what was happening with Ukraine and economic development and reconstruction there. So that conversation lent into how could we effectively help as a bank, and we can do that in a number of ways. But I think we felt one of the most effective was just incredibly high quality human resource to give the Ukrainian government, with all of the things that were going on, the capacity to think through and assess the economic opportunities that are in front of them, and frankly assess perhaps as the economic structure develops in a post immediately pre-end of war and post-war economy, how that might work. So Administrative Power tasked us to consider doing just that. In the meantime, my boss, Brian, asked me to join Special Representative Pritzker on a trip to Kyiv to meet with members of the government. We met with the Prime Minister, we met with President Zelensky, we met with members of the Ukrainian government. We had a terrific meeting at the Parliament as well, where we met all of the different parties in Ukraine. And thank you very much, Secretary, for hosting us. And actually, I want to say she's not here, but I want to say a thank you to Ambassador Bridget as well, who hosted us in Kiev and kept me personally very calm when the air raid sirens went off when we were having drinks at the end of the day. I was wondering why everybody was still in their seats, but she kept me calm in that regard. And we're able to discuss at first hand all of the efforts that could be made in rebuilding the economy. We had discussions around the insurance sector and the agricultural sector. And there was a phrase that I've often quoted, which the Secretary said to the President Zelensky. And she said, if you will remember, that your legacy may not just be winning the war, but your more important legacy might be transforming Ukraine into an incredible modern European-facing economy. And that really has struck me. I had a sense that he might be leaving our meeting and discussing war casualties, perhaps, but he had the bandwidth with his team to go on this journey. So I came back very, very impressed, not just with the resilience of the people and what they were going through, but the economic opportunities as well. We met soon afterwards at Davos, at the World Economic Forum, and Brian and our team were able to engage with President Zelensky and Secretary Pritzker and others, and the Deputy Minister of Economy, who was there as well. So it's difficult to imagine what the country is going through, but we absolutely feel that we can play our part. And absolutely, if progress is to be sustained, and Ukraine is returned to a normalized economy, then it's essential that we step up and we play our part in all of the different ways. And I'm glad that we're able to do so. Certainly from my conversations around the world, I get to travel around a lot for Bank of America. There's a lot of sympathy and interest, and there's a lot of capital that could be deployed. And I'm hoping that with our effort, we'll be able to allow this to essentially be crowded in and to be convened. So, as Administrative Powers said, we're really happy, and I'm personally excited. I was personally involved in getting one of our colleagues, one of our most experienced, most senior managing directors, to take time, and you'll meet her over time, and she's here today, to lead a team that will drive the Bank of America team to partner up with the government to drive this effort. There's a lot of goodwill. I was in Berlin last week at the Chancellery. They're very excited about the Ukraine Recovery Conference that's coming up, and speaking to very senior ministers there and planning around that. I think and they have thoughts around setting up sort of development type bank, and there are areas like that I think we can help drive things along. So we think with those global relationships, with all of our network, we'll just be one other voice that's advocating and, as I said, really crowding in and convening all of the ideas around capital and and economic opportunities in the region. I often say that capital is ideas. As banks, we're often thinking what is your balance sheet? But at the end of the day, it's somebody's willingness to assess the risk, to take the risk, to find a way to hedge the risk, to get people who have different risk appetites to come in into all the different incredible sectors that I think Ukraine can be a part of. So thank you very much. Thank you to Infrastructure Powers. Thank you to Secretary Pritzker. Thank you to Prime Minister. Thank you to the Ambassador. Thank you.